G'day everyone, my name is Indiana Jones and I'm here to teach you all about cyanobacteria and how none of us can live without it. Cyanobacteria are the largest and most diverse group of photosynthetic bacteria. They fall into the classification of Chlorophyceae and share a common ancestor with most eukaryotes, including eukaryotic algae. The bacteria are 0.5 micrometers to 40 micrometers and they consist of blue-green color, which gives them their colloquial name of blue-green algae. Cyanobacteria may live freely as single cells or exist in multicellular colonies, depending on the growth conditions present. These colonies can be large enough to be seen by the unaided human eye. They live in aquatic environments, can manufacture their own food, which classifies them as photosynthetic, and require only water, nitrogen gas, oxygen, a few mineral elements, light, and carbon dioxide to survive. They are divided into 5 subsections labeled from 1 to 5, which are defined by the following: shape, reproductive method, whether or not they carry out nitrogen fixation based on presence of heterocytes, and motility. Cyanobacteria make up some of the oldest fossils to exist and are one of the most important bacteria on Earth. This is because they are responsible for the Great Oxygen Event, where oxygen from numerous cyanobacteria were released into the atmosphere over a period of time. This event led to the beginning of plant species, which prior to this, the atmosphere had a completely different chemistry which was unsuitable to life. There are 3 general shapes of cyanobacteria that are most frequently observed. These are spherical, rod, and spiral.
Cyanobacteria has the distinction of being the oldest known fossils that exist on Earth. The bacteria are an estimated 3.5 billion years old and is part of the Archean, which was 2.5 to 4 billion years ago, and Proterozoic era, which began 2.5 billion years ago and ended 542 million years ago. Cyanobacteria is one of the most important bacteria on Earth. The oxygen in the atmosphere was generated by numerous cyanobacteria during the Archean and Proterozoic era, and at the time the atmosphere was unsustainable and unsuitable for human life. Cyanobacteria contributes to nitrogen fertilizer and the cultivation of the production of rice and beans.
Cyanobacteria can be unicellular, colonial, or filamentous. They have a thin, single layer of peptoglycan in their cell wall, contain an outer membrane, and have a periplasmic space, classifying them as gram-negative. Furthermore, they have structural properties in concordance with other bacteria, such as containing this peptoglycan cell wall, have DNA that is not covered in histone proteins, and membrane-bound organelles are absent. They also lack a flagellum, but still engage in sliding movements. There are 3 specialized cell types: vegetative cells, which photosynthesize, spores that can survive harsh environmental conditions and eventually develop into new filaments, and finally, heterocytes, which are cells specialized for nitrogen fixation. Heterocytes also play a role in reproduction, where filaments break apart to reproduce.
In the role of nitrogen fertilizer, the ability of processing atmospheric nitrogen and rendering it into an organic form is possessed by cyanobacteria. Plants have evolved to form symbiotic relations with cyanobacteria as they reside in plant food and in roots. Cyanobacteria has formed similar relationships with many types of fungi, resulting in the existence of lichens. Cyanobacteria also fixes nitrogen in soils, coral reefs, and various water environments, making nitrogen available throughout a wide range of ecosystems. Cyanobacteria develop the capacity for photosynthesis, which produces oxygen as a byproduct. The Earth's carbon dioxide-rich atmosphere gradually changed to include increasing amounts of oxygen. Cyanobacteria accounts for approximately 20 to 30% of the photosynthesis on the planet today and continues to play an important role in the composition of the atmosphere. When providing a water environment that is particularly rich in nutrients, cyanobacteria produces extremely large populations or blooms. They can also produce toxins that are dangerous to humans and animals. In accordance to WHO, the World Health Organization, these blooms in human water supplies are causing problems around the world. These toxic blooms in lakes can reduce populations of numerous species of animals and underwater plant life due to toxicity or other impacts. Cyanobacteria played an important role in the development of plant life. A chloroplast, which exists within a plant cell and produces food for the plant, are evidently cyanobacteria. Millions of years ago, cells evolved with cyanobacterium in a process called endosymbiosis. Concordant to mitochondria in animal cells, chloroplasts are genetically unique from their parent cells.